Hi, this is my second video of Angular 6 learning series. In my first video, I explained how to install Angular. In case if it is not installed in your machine, then watch my first video. And I'm showing you the URL of my first video. So if you want to watch it, then you can use this URL in YouTube, right? Yeah, this is the URL. Okay, so you can think this video as chapter 1. So in this video I will explain some basic concepts of Angular with bootstrapping process, and I will also show how to change look of default page of Angular. So the page which you are seeing currently in my screen, this is the default page of Angular. To start Angular, we need to use ngserve. So ngserve is already running in my machine, but for you I am showing you again. Means I am again run that command. So first I need to terminate. So the project which you created, so in my previous video I showed how to create project. So I created a project with the name Angular demo. So we need to enter in that project, and here we need to run the command ngserve. You can put -o as well. -o is for open. So open the output in browser. So I don't need to open it because my browser is already in open mode. So I hit enter, and this command will first compile the entire project. So once the compilation will be complete, then we can see output. So yes, okay, so it is completed, right? That's why we can see the output in the browser. All right, so come to the folder structure here. Yeah, so this is my project Angular demo, which is in C drive. So here the main folder which we need to deal with is src folder. So we can think this folder, src folder, as our root, right? So if you will see carefully, in the root there are two files which is important for us. First one is index.html. So let me open this, right? So I am using Visual Studio Code as my IDE, but it doesn't matter. If you want to use any other IDE or editor, you can. Another file which is important for us is main.ts file. So ts is the extension for Typescript file. If you people don't know, the language which we use in Angular is Typescript, right? So maybe you people are thinking why I opened these two files. So let me answer you. Index.html is the first file from where the execution begins, right? And after that, after the execution of index.html, main.ts file executes. And if you are again thinking why index.html, where it is written that index.html will execute first, so for that I need to open some other file which is which is at the root folder, I mean in the folder Angular demo, which is the name of my project. Here there is a file called angular.json, right? Okay, one thing I will like to add here, the same file in the previous version have different name. In the previous version, I mean in Angular 5, the name of this file was angular-cli.json, but here it is renamed with angular.json. So if you will see this file, you need to scroll down. Okay, see here, these two lines. So it is saying that index and the main, the name of the file, index.html and main.tss. So this file is actually describing which HTML file will execute first and which TS file, which TypeScript file will execute first, right? So index.html and main.ts, the execution of index.html and main.ts is defined here. That's why these two files executes at first. So come back to our Visual Code Editor. So if I will say the code of index.html, it is very simple code. You can see this is simple HTML of 14 lines. In the head section there is meta tag, there is title tag, there is base, there is a link tag for favicon.ico. Then in the body there is nothing. There is one thing which is new for you people, is this tag app-root. So you people are thinking, what is this? So let me tell you, this is not the HTML tag, but this is a Angular tag. So for let me comment it. Yeah, save it and see what is happening in the output. Okay, my output is here in the Chrome browser. So you can see everything goes, nothing is displaying. It means this tag holds a lot of thing. So let me remove the comment. Now again refresh. Yeah, again the output is coming. So so app-root, this tag contains a lot of things which we need to understand, right? So as I told you, after the execution of this index.html, the main.ts file executes. So in the main.ts file, possibly the syntax is new for you. This is a TypeScript file. So let me give you a small idea, a brief idea about this file. So this import thing we use in TypeScript to call any modules. It can be a system module or user-defined component or any other user-defined thing, right? So the main thing which I want to show is available in line number 11. So here you can see that it is written platform browser dynamic, right? This is a module, system module, I mean Angular module, dot Bootstrap module, and here inside this we are passing a parameter app module. So it is saying that a module, a question is coming to your mind that what is module. So I will explain this, but first let me complete this thing, that from here we are calling a module file, app module. So to explain module, I need to show you a image. So see this image. So in the architecture of Angular, right, everything is component. What I mean to say is, in a web page, if you need to create any registration page or any login page or anything, so you need to create a component, and every component resides inside a module. So you can see here there is a module, and this module contains three components: component 1, component 2, and component 3. It may contain more than 3, means I mean to say it may contain one or more components, right? So back to the code. Here main.ts is saying that call app module. When you will create a project, if your project size will be large, then it is also possible there will be multiple modules in your project, right? So which module you need to execute first, that you need to put here. So we are means by default there is a module with the installation of project, a module come to us, and the name of that module is app module, and the name of that module is written. So we need to open our app module. So okay, here come to the src folder. Inside app you will find this file app module. Open this, right? Okay, so here the name app module, this name is available here, means whatever the class name is, that is the name, right? Means we always call module or component with their class name. So here the class name is app module, that's why in the main.ts it is written here app module, right? If we will change this name, then here we need to change the name. Okay, now as I told you that a module contains multiple components. So by default, with the installation of Angular, we got a component, right? And the name of that component is app component. But when you will create any project, real life project, then possibly you need to create multiple components inside this module. So this section is important for you. You need to listen it very carefully. The highlighted thing which is displaying here is called decorator, right? So here at the top I put app component. This is the name of the component, right? Means all the components which are associated with this module, we need to put the name of all those components here. Suppose okay, go back here, you can find okay, this is the app.component file. So the class name is app component, so that's why in the declaration section we put the name app component, right? So suppose in future you created more component in this module, so you have to write the class name of all those components here. Let's say a component, then B component, like this. So whatever components you will create, you have to put the name of all those components here in the declaration. So one more thing I will like to add here. So here line number 4, it is written import app component from the file name app.component. So you need to call this file when, as we are using the name app component here, so we need to first call it, otherwise it will show us an error. For example, if I will comment it, so see, it is giving us an error, right? So if you will click on this bulb will come in this VS Code editor, and once you will click on this, so it will show that import app component from this, right? So the line which I commented, the same line generated again. So it's okay. So I can remove this. Yeah, fair enough. So the second section is imports. So what is the meaning of imports? So imports, basically inside imports we put the modules which is Angular's own module, or we can say the system module. So currently it is written here browser module. Browser module is Angular own module, right? I mean, with the installation of Angular, this module come to us, right? So all those modules which require in our project, in our component, that all system modules we put here in import section. Okay, third one is provider. So basically what provider is, currently we can keep it blank, but in future when we will deal with API, right, means when your Angular will call API to fetch data from backend, so name of all those services, means in Angular we use services to call API, so the name of all those services need to put inside providers. And the last one is Bootstrap. So as I told you that module contains multiple component, but there will be a component which will execute first or by default. So the component which will execute automatically or by default, that component, the name of that component need to put here. Currently in our case we have only one component, which is app component. That's why we put the name of app component. So this fourth section, Bootstrap, is saying during the boot process this component will execute. Now this is the time to enter in our app component.ts. I did a mistake here, let me undo. Okay, so now we need to see app component.ts file. So I think it is clear to you why app.component.ts. So how the flow is moving from one file to another file. So in app.component.ts, at the very first line I am importing the core library of Angular. It is important, right? So through import we are using the import keyword here to call this library. After that there is the decoration @ component. It says @component says that it is a component. In case of module it was @ng module, right? So this @ng module says this is a module file, and @component says it is a component file, right? So now the interesting thing, so inside the @component, the first section is selector, and see carefully the name of selector, which is app-root. So if you will recall few time back when we were in index.html file, the new tag, the name of the new tag was app-root, and the same name is available here. Now I think you people are guessing that what is the meaning of app-root, which is written in index.html. So if I will change here app-root 1 and save, see what will happen. Nothing is coming. And if I will change it and save it, so output is coming. It means in our HTML we need to put the name of selector as tag. So here the selector name is app-root, so that we have to use in our HTML as tag, right? So another thing, the second part is template URL. So template URL is saying the HTML associated with this component. So the HTML file name is app.component.html. So we need to open that, app.component.html. So this is the file. Yeah. So here you can see we can do changes here. For example, in the browser there are few links here. Here are some links to help you start. I want to remove all these links. So what I need to do, simply I will delete these lines. Control S and go to the browser. Okay, so you can see these lines are removed. So I will do some changes from my TS file. So here the title is Angular demo. So here I will write some other thing, another string, Angular classes from Gotham, and let's save it this. So it is written here, welcome to Angular classes from Gotham. So how it is coming, you can see the variable name. So basically this is a class app component, right? And this class have one property title. So we are using class property in our HTML in this way, with inside two curly braces, right? So we can say it as interpolation. So we will discuss on these things about class properties, class functions, interpolation, bindings in our next video. But for now, just do some small changes. I am removing this welcome to. So yeah, Angular classes from Gotham, right? So okay, so summary of the video is the bootstrap process of Angular is something like this. In the very root, there are two files, index.html and main.ts, right? So first index.html execute, which calls main.ts. After main.ts, it calls the module file. The only module file which comes with the installation of Angular is app.module.ts, right? Inside app.module.ts, it is we need to mention which component will execute. So by default, app.component is the only component which comes with installation. So it executes because the name of this component mentions in module file, right? So yeah, so that's it. I think now it is clear, some basic idea about the Angular code structure. All right, so thank you very much for watching this video. Bye bye.